Hello, what is up YouTube? This is my first real legit YouTube video aside from YouTube Shorts, so heyo, what's up? Super excited to be here and talking about a really important topic today. And if you're new here or if you didn't know, I am a registered dietitian, nutrition coach, and personal trainer, and a lot of my clients deal with this issue that I'm going to talk about today. And that is if you are eating a low amount of calories, okay, let's say 1,000, 1,200, maybe even 1,400 calories per day and not losing weight, it's probably because of one of four reasons. And short disclaimer, this is also my first time having caffeine in an entire week, so if I seem a little cracked out, I am. And if you find this topic interesting or helpful, go ahead and click that like button. Now let's get into it. So you find yourself eating a low amount of calories, maybe 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 calories per day, and you just can't seem to lose weight. Why? How does that happen? Well, hands down, the most common reason why this is happening, this might surprise you, is you're not actually eating that amount. I know that first one may not be the answer that you want to hear, but it is the answer that you need to hear. And this is the most common reason because it's pretty simple to underestimate how much you're actually eating. And so if this is you, I want you to know that you are not alone. It's an honest mistake, but it is a mistake that is very, very common. And typically, if you are making this mistake, it is because your Monday through Friday food looks a lot different than your weekend food. And same thing goes for your calorie amounts, right? You're dialed in Monday through Friday, hitting those calories, eating a super low amount. And then on the weekends, you don't remember that you get pizza, you get ice cream, you go out with your friends for drinks, and all of those things can actually wipe out an entire week's worth, Monday through Friday, of progress that you have made. Or if it's not your weekends, you're simply just underestimating how much food you're eating overall, which again is very common. So here's what you need to do. If you are not already tracking your food, which I highly recommend you do if your goal is fat loss, there are a couple circumstances where I would not have someone track their food, but for the most part, it's gonna be a good idea. So if you're not already tracking your food, make sure that you start to do so because it can be very eye-opening as far as how many calories you're actually eating. Or if you already are tracking your food and you still can't seem to figure out what's going on, make sure that you're tracking your weekends too and tracking everything that you're eating over the weekend. This means any bites, any licks, any sips that you are having of any food that you put in your mouth. But you have to be tracking everything in order to get the most accurate measurement of how many calories that you're actually eating. So that is reason number one. You think you're eating a low amount of calories, but you're actually eating more than you think. Now, if you're looking at me and you're like, Casey, there's no way I'm eating 1,200 calories and still not losing weight, and I know that's the amount that I'm eating. Well, the second reason is something called metabolic adaptation. This is basically just a fancy term to say that if you eat a low amount of calories for a long enough amount of time, your body gets very efficient with those calories and it adapts your metabolism and actually slows down your metabolism to that calorie amount. And this means that your body gets very efficient with those amount of calories and it actually will burn less energy, less calories over time throughout the day. So if this reason sounds like you, here's what you need to do. And I know this might sound counterintuitive because your goal is fat loss, but you actually need to increase your calories to a higher amount. And while you're doing that, you'll need to be in the gym focusing on building muscle because muscle actually increases your metabolism. And when you build muscle, you'll actually be able to lose fat on a higher amount of calories because your body's calorie requirements are going to be higher. Muscle burns and takes a lot of energy, burns a lot of calories, and that is why you'll actually have to increase your calories, build some muscle, and increase your metabolism and get out of that adaptation state. All right, if that still doesn't sound like you, if you're like, Casey, I know I'm only eating 1,200 calories a day, I know that my body is not adapted, it's been a relatively new thing, and I'm still not losing weight, then maybe you fall into number three, which is that you are just doing too much. It places your body in a stress, fight, or flight state. And this chronically stressed state is actually pretty similar to adaptation, right? It doesn't just happen if you have a day where you're stressed. It's chronic stress over time. This goes back to to number one, because when you are in a stress state, your inhibitions are altered, you're likely making poor choices, you're moving less, you're eating more, and thus you kind of throw yourself out of that balance and you're eating more than you think. So what you need to do if you think you're doing too much is to just do less. Put your body under less stress, eat a little bit more, move a little bit less. And when you do that, I think you'll find that you actually start to see some fat loss. So now number four, the final reason why you're eating a low amount of calories but just can't seem to lose fat is this. And this is actually the least common reason that I see. A very, very small amount of people actually fall into this category. And that is that you have an underlying hormonal or gut issue. In that case, I encourage you to seek help from a professional who can help you solve that root cause and thus help you lose fat. So that is the video. 4 reasons why you're eating a low amount of calories but just can't seem to lose fat. And if you have personal experience with this or just need some extra help or guidance, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I read and respond to all of them myself. And make sure to subscribe to my channel to hear more no BS fat loss advice.